Welcome to Deckable. This is an amazing new app that allows you to play with hundreds of Oracle decks, coaching decks, educational decks, all on an app in the palm of your hand. You go to Deckable.com, you start purchasing your decks, and then you open up the free app so you can start working with the decks. And as you can see, I have my own deck here called Shadow to Light. And these decks are ones that I haven't downloaded on my iPad yet. So you can see by date, I've been working with various spreads. You can see when I've bought other decks, so it makes it really easy to see what you're doing. You can save your spreads, you can journal about your spreads and save what your insights were from each spread, which is really helpful. So you can see here, these are ones where I hadn't finished opening up the cards yet, but I'd like to do a new spread with you so you can see how it works. So we'll go Shadows to Light. There's different spreads, including spreads that authors like myself have created for our decks, but my spreads can be used with any deck. So you can see I've created some fun choices for you there. Absolutely happy to create more as we go. So let's just randomly pick a 3-card spread. So it's going to shuffle the cards. We can hit stop shuffle. Now we're ready to play. We've got our 3 cards and we can turn them over. So here you can see a lot of my cards are layered images. I've done a lot of work to layer them to give you different levels of awareness with each card. So in this case, it says the ego cares about how others see it. Our higher self wants to be of service. Ask yourself today, are you operating in fear of how you will be perceived? Or are you curious and passionate about making a difference in the world? And here we have another card. This person has 2 directions in which to go. Stop procrastinating. Take the action you've been avoiding. Step into the unknown. This will free up the energy for the next step and give you clarity as to whether your actions are aligned with your path. And the next card. Offering is a sacred act of great intention. Let yourself be a conduit for universal energy today with no thought to receive in return. Don't attach to energy coming back from the person to whom you gave it. Give freely and allow energy to flow back in its own way and in its own time. So I did that random spread with no particular intention, but what I got from it is this clarity that I have a path to walk. This is not about ego, it's about being of service. If you buy my deck and it works for you, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. This is an opportunity to introduce you to Deckable so you can see that there's many wonderful people out there creating amazing decks. And by the way, if you're a deck creator, you can get in there and create your own as well. So I rather got a chuckle out of that. I thought that's kind of cool. Just to show you, here's another spread I did doing my child, today's self, and future self spread. Interesting that I just did this randomly, and yet here's a child nestled under the lion in this card. I'll let you look at the deck yourself to get into more of the meanings. This is showing some resistance, some work to do in the current self. And yet with the future self, it's saying, you know, you're going to get there. That energy is going to flow. So you can see right there, we've got a really clear sense of what's happening at the different levels. The strength of the child, even though that child is sleeping, maybe not fully conscious yet, that strength is there. In the current life, there's some resistance to move through to unleash some of that energy, and the future self is reassuring that it will come, but it's about being open and allowing and not trying to push for anything. Now, you're going to find I've written meanings for each card, but I also strongly encourage you to look at a card and see what it evokes for you. What's the meaning that you get from it? Just to show you some more of the beautiful imagery. So say you decide you want to meditate with a card, you can set your different times, and now you can sit there and really immerse yourself in the imagery, really allow it to affect you. Look at the various layers of what's happening in the imagery. What is that saying about the layers within you? So you can see there's various things you can do with this. It's a fantastic program. I highly recommend it. I'm very excited about having been involved in creating my own deck. Definitely want to do more in the future, but that gives you a rundown on how Deckable works. I hope you'll check it out. Thanks very much.